Crack is back. And that could mean a big problem for the Big Apple. Police and prosecutors told Post that record levels Colombian cocaine inflow encouraged return of crack, cheap, drinkable scourge that sparked a wave crime in New York in late 1980s and 1990s. Frank Tarantino, head of the New York Department of the DEA, said that other cocaine species have also exploded, adding, "We're seeing a crack resurgence. Demand has never really declined, but supply has increased exponentially." According to law enforcement officials, who say a single-use rock could be bought for as low as $5, a flood of cocaine has brought street prices down to levels not seen in decades. District wars are brewing, according to city's narcotics prosecutor Bridget Brennan, whose office targets drug gangs fighting on street corners in Upper Manhattan, just as merchants did more than 30 years ago. The groups want to control the region and they have to sell a lot. Brennan told the Post that if someone else rapes them, they won't be able to do it. "We have historically seen violence associated with them, and certainly we have seen that in our current investigation." According to law enforcement sources, in addition to crack, the city is also teeming with normal old cocaine, once a symbol of Wall Street extremism, now selling for around $10 per bend. Loosened farming restrictions in Colombia have led to increased growth of coca plants and increased cocaine production, leading to lower prices. Pictures officials have warned that crack in the Big Apple is on rise. Verified these cellophane bags, tied by rope, contain 2 or 3 lines of value, making powdered cocaine an inexpensive party drug that is almost as cheap as marijuana. Meanwhile, amateurs face the possibility of immediate from fentanyl, the powerful, highly addictive opioid increasingly implicated in cocaine and other illicit drugs. Investigators, mixtures of cocaine, fentanyl, heroin, meth, tramadol and tranquilizer xylazine, also known as tranq, have crashed packaging operations using a new notorious non-opioid substance that adds a potentially life-threatening kick when taken with narcotics. Among these, fentanyl is the most powerful and cheapest drug to make. A recent raid on the Bronx revealed glass bags with the seller's Skull Crusher logo. Bridget Brennan's office. While fentanyl and heroin are often found in the same blocks or bundles, cocaine and fentanyl typically do not mix until this packing stage. Prosecutors say the workers turned the pounds into bags for sellers and glass envelopes for individual buyers. At a site near Van Cortlandt Park in the Bronx, which was liquidated in November, alleged ringleader Samuel Rojas Camacho produced glass stamped with his own brand, Skull Crusher, and held more than 50 pounds of drugs, including cocaine and fentanyl. And heroin, according to Brennan, head of the city's Special Narcotics Prosecutor's Office. Kim Garamani said of the fentanyl-joined cocaine that killed his sister Julia, "It's poison." This is provided by the Garamani family. What we're seeing is these Zula places where you'll have kilos of all kinds of different drugs in the same place, and then a mini mill with grinding equipment next to the cucumbers, Brennan said. This is where overdoses come in. Officials said imported cocaine cascade was due to a 50% increase coca production in Colombia, with crops now covering 245,000 hectares, 160,000 hectares at height of cocaine craze 1990s. By 2010, Colombia's aggressive extermination program had reduced that number to about 80,000 hectares. AFP via S. During these pressures, Colombians physically dismantled coca plants and destroyed cocaine by spraying Roundup, herbicide glyphosate, into fields from air, but also exposed farm workers to a known carcinogen. This program ended because of cancer concerns about Roundup and because eradication destroyed other crops, such as coffee plants, banana trees and cocoa beans, which were the cornerstones of the country's agricultural economy. All air fumigation ended in 2015. After the government stopped targeting cocaine, growers no longer had to worry about losing their harvests, production of the cash-producing plant exploded, and huge new coca plantations sprouted in Colombia, Peru, Bolivia. It takes about 3 years for the plant to fully mature. Leonardo Correa, of the United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime, said, "There is more efficiency in extracting the alkaloid to produce more cocaine." Abundant supply and efficient processing led to a drop in wholesale prices. According to Tarantino, an uncut kilo of cocaine that reached an all-time high of $35,000 5 years ago is now around $17,000. It's like the 1990s prices, he said. Meanwhile, dealers attract new customers. Online marketing and distribution services enable drug acquisition quickly and easily, allowing powder cocaine buyers to avoid scoring on the street. Tarantino said, "Today, everything about drug trafficking is technology. The internet, machine learning, artificial intelligence and e-commerce. These, drug trafficking, organizations are using all advantages and then weaponizing these techniques to make their products available to everyone." Addicts looking for a stimulant sedative, such as the fastball in the 1970s, which combined heroin and cocaine caused comedian John Belushi's overdose, found a new favorite in fentanyl-doped cola. New parents Sam Marquez and Karina Joy Rodriguez unwittingly exceeded the dose of cocaine added to fentanyl. After the couple, their baby Aria was found by Sam's sister, who 9 months later from an overdose. "It's a different kind of high," Brennan said. "It's fast, it's too much, and they're burning it. Maybe cocaine is making you conscious enough to enjoy the drunkenness, or fentanyl can make you feel the excitement." Experts say that those who are used taking oxycodone, heroin, or other opioids tend to be less vulnerable to the LY power of fentanyl because they form a tolerance. Some may take 2 milligrams or more of fentanyl on a regular basis. The same amount can kill a less experienced user. Colorado District Attorney Brian Mason, whose fentanyl-inoculated cocaine killed 5 friends, including a young couple had 4 friends in Commerce City in February 2022, said, "Those who are most at risk are mostly young people who have not used fentanyl." The man who sold Julia Garamani a lethal dose of cocaine was found guilty of narcotics conspiracy charges in a Manhattan federal court earlier this year and faces at least 25 years in prison. Monument of Honor, high school is the first time that college kids want to sleep better or think it will make them feel good, Mason said.